Hello, it's me again. Every time I say that, I think of that song, Hello, It's Me. Well, there's a lot of Hello Me songs, but anyway, I won't torment you with my renditions of them, okay? Okay. Look what we're going to make today. You're going to be really excited about this, I think. Well, no, I don't think I know. We're going to make some potato latkes, or otherwise known as potato pancakes. And these are all the ingredients you need. These are the basic ingredients for this wonderful dish that's going to feed quite a few people. So this is what we got. We got 2 nice sized scrub potatoes. I have some parsley flakes, a little bit of flour, an egg, salt, pepper, some oil, and my favorite ingredient, my favorite skillet. Okay? All right. I've already put some oil in there. That's all the ingredients. That's the basic ingredients for this beautiful side dish. Okay? So, let's get busy and I'll show you how to do it. Now, along with your ingredients, these are the tools that you're going to need. You're going to need some kind of a grater or a food processor. This is just a plain old cheap grater. This thing, you know what? This kind of grater must have been around for, I don't know, 100 years. Well, longer than me anyway. And you're going to need a spatula. And you're going to need a colander lined with some paper towel. It's going to be important. And you're going to need a large bowl. I always work with oversized bowls, and the reason I do that is because it gives me lots of space to stir and work. So I highly recommend an oversized bowl, okay? And as I pointed out, you're going to need your favorite skillet, some oil, and you're going to need a plate with some paper towel or other drainage paper on here to drain your potato pancakes as they come out of the skillet. Now then, if you don't have paper towel, or you're not a paper towel user, then use a nice clean cloth, because we're going to have to drain our potatoes and dry them out. So this is for the raw potato, okay? All right, so now that we have everything assembled, we can get busy and we can make this delicious, delicious potato pancakes. Okay, I have my potatoes shredded, and I want you to see how many potatoes those 2 potatoes rendered. Now, the potatoes are shredded, and what I did, I put them in the colander and without the paper towel, and I rinsed them in cold water, and I rinsed them until the water ran clear. And also that keeps my potatoes from turning brown, because we want the brown to come from the frying, not because our potatoes turn brown, right? So you can see this made a lot. This is going to make quite a few potato pancakes. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to transfer my potatoes into the paper towel lined colander, and then I'm going to press the paper towel around them, and I'm going to dry them out even more, because potatoes have a lot of water. Then I'm going to transfer them back to my big bowl and add the rest of my ingredients. Okay? All right, so hang in there and I'll show you what we got. Don't leave. If you leave, I'll be lonesome. Okay, I'll be back. Okay, now, I want you to see what I did. All I did was I put them in, and I had a double thickness paper towel. I put them in my trusty colander, and I wrapped the paper towel around them, and now I am pressing the shredded potatoes down. Okay? That's all you do. And the water will come out of them because you want to dry them out as much as possible. Because the fact is that your potato pancakes won't come out that great if they're full of water. And since potatoes are full of water anyway, and then we rinse them with water, we've got to drain some water. Now I want you to see, do you see the water that's come out of them? That's what we don't want in our potato latkes or our potato pancakes. Okay? So that's what I'm going to do. Now, if there's a lot of water in there and I feel that they're not dry enough, I will do it again. But just so you know that, you know what, the most difficult part of this, you can call it a recipe, I just call it a method, but the most difficult part about it is shredding your potatoes. But if you have a food processor, great. If you don't and you have to shred them the old-fashioned way, that's okay too. And if you can trick somebody into shredding them for you, oh, that's even better. But I also want you to know that this recipe works really well with frozen shredded hash brown potatoes too, okay? If you can buy the package of frozen, it works great. You just need to thaw them out first and do the same method. Press the water out of them, okay? You're just skipping the shredding step. But this is a great way. Potatoes can be pretty cheap. I've got 2 potatoes in here. You can also add, if you want to mince some onion, do that. But I recommend that you mix the onion with your potatoes and that you also press the water out of that. Okay? All right. I think these are pretty good. I'm going to be back, okay? So hang in, because you don't want to miss out on something really, really good, do you? Okay. Okay, we're back. Now, I patted the shredded potatoes pretty dry, and you can see, I just want you to know what they're like. That's what you're looking for as far as texture when you shred them, okay? Now, I sprinkled in on top of my potatoes, I sprinkled some parsley, I don't know, about a tablespoon or so, some black pepper, some salt, and an egg. So I'm going to mix this all up, and once I get it mixed up, I'm going to add this little bit of all-purpose flour. I'm not going to add very much. I'll show you how much I do. It's just as a binder. Now, if there is someone in your family who has a gluten problem, you don't have to do the flour. You can use rice flour or a bean flour, like a garbanzo bean flour. And I'll tell you, a very cheap, inexpensive way to get your binder in there is to make a little bit of oatmeal flour simply by whirling it, just whirl this up in your blender, and you have oat flour, okay? And make it fairly fine and add that to your potato pancakes. It's just a binder, okay? That's all it is. The egg, the flour is a binder. So if you have someone with a gluten problem, they don't have to miss out. They can have some too, okay? Alrighty. Now then, I'm going to get this mixed up, and then I'll show you how I add the flour. Okay, I've got my egg and my seasonings incorporated in the potatoes. See how that looks? Now, just so you know, I did put another egg in there because my 2 potatoes rendered more potatoes than what I thought they would. And I felt like another egg, 1 egg wasn't adequate, so I just added another egg, okay? So this is all I do because your potato amount varies, the size of your potatoes vary. I can't say, oh, use a half a cup of flour or this. Frankly, this is what I do. I sprinkle some flour on the top or whatever thickening agent, binding agent you want to use, and I mix it up like that, and then I see how it looks. And actually, I'll tell you, most of the time, just that sprinkling over the complete top of the potatoes is more than enough, because you don't want a pasty taste in your potato pancakes. You want a nice, crispy, delicious taste. This recipe is perfect for a vegetarian, and if you're a vegan, you know what? Substitute those eggs for egg substitute, or I think it's called energy egg or something like that. There's all kinds of things that you can use to bind your potatoes together, because keep in mind, it's a binder. All right? Okay. So, I'm just showing you the basic recipe. Now, I'm going to let this, stir this up a little better. I'm going to let it sit, and then while I get my heat going underneath my kettle, my skillet. Love this skillet. We've been together for over 40 years. Well, actually, 48 years now. Okay, I'll be back. Hello, I'm back. Now, I've got this mixed up. You can see that my oil is heating. It's starting to bubble. But I'm going to put just a little bit of mixture in there to see how hot my oil is, okay? And just to check it, I think it's plenty hot enough. Matter of fact, just to be safe, I'm going to turn that down just a bit. And what I have here is my handy dandy old ancient ice cream scoop, and that's what I'm going to use to put these in the pan and get them going, because you're not going to pad these out. You're just going to put them in with a scoop, okay? All right, I'm going to get some going, and I will be back, and I will show you what that looks like. Okay, hang on. Don't leave. Okay, I've got some going in there, and as you can see, I did put them in the pan, but they're not crowded because I have to have room to flip them. And all you do is just kind of run your spatula under there and make sure they're not sticking. And then when you flip them, you can kind of press them down a little bit. Let's see what we got here. That's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to flip that one. And then just give them a little press. Not too much, because you don't want them to be tough. But you just want them to be really, really crispy. And you can see there really isn't all that much oil in here, okay? It's just really enough. Press that down a little bit. Let's do this one too. These are really looking good. Now, you have to stay with these because they don't take very long to cook. And if you have some that are left over, you probably won't. But if you do, just all you have to do is just store them in an airtight container, and you can actually pop them in the oven and reheat them, and then they will keep their crispiness. Okay? Now, I'm going to flip these a couple more times because I want that all over golden brown color, and I also want them to cook through. Okay? So, I'm going to continue cooking here, and you can see how much I have left in there. Now, that's from 2 potatoes. Don't worry about the eggy battery on the bottom. You're not dishing that up in there. You're just using your ice cream scoop. And if you want to make them smaller, by all means, go ahead. It's no problem. If you want to make them, I don't really recommend them any bigger than this, because then it makes them a little more difficult to handle. But I'm going to continue cooking. I will be back, and I'll show you what we have from 2 potatoes, a couple of eggs, and a smidgen of flour. All right, I'll be back. All right, I got them done. Don't they look good? Well, they are good. And I just want you to know, I want you to see how crispy they are on the outside. But on the inside, they're very, very, very tender. Now, those 2 potatoes, the 2 eggs and that little bit of flour made 9 potato pancakes. Okay? So I just want you to get an idea of how far a couple of potatoes can go. These are so delicious. The traditional way to serve them is with sour cream and applesauce, but I don't have sour cream, but I do have ranch dressing. So I have some ranch dressing with a little bit of parsley put in because it looks party. And that's it. Now, you can serve these with honey mustard. You can have ketchup on the side if that's what your family likes. You can have a little barbecue sauce. They're just really, really good. And think about the things that you can put in them. You could put bacon bits. You could put some Parmesan cheese. You can put garlic. You can put some onion powder if you don't want minced onion. There's just so many, many, many things that you can do with these beautiful potato pancakes, and you can serve them just a couple of them with a nice salad. It's just so many things. There's just a myriad of things that you can do with these beautiful, beautiful potato pancakes. I want you to see how pretty they look. Now, if you're going to make a bunch of them, more than what I have here, put your oven on so that it's warming, and have an oven-proof pan or dish and pop them in there to keep them hot while you cook off the rest of them, okay? Okay, that's it. Now, the easiest part is just coming up because, you know, I'm going to have to eat these. Yes, I'm going to throw myself on the chopping block and have a couple of these, okay? Not all of them, just a couple. Like I said, if you have any left over, put them in an airtight container and pop them in an oven, and you can just warm them right back up. Okay? All right. Listen, I hope you give this a try. Use what you have. It's pretty simple ingredients, isn't it? Okay. I love you. Got faith in you. Come on, we can do it. If I can do it, anybody can do it, okay? All right. Have fun with it. And I'll see you next time. You just remember that little is much when God is in it. Okay, talk to you later. Bye.